Hey guys, today I want to talk again about cloud storage that many people use today, especially since it's become so reasonable in price. Plus, Microsoft gives you cloud storage if you use Office, and Google gives you free cloud storage. Dropbox will give you some free cloud storage. So it gets used a lot. Now, there is an inherent problem with all of these systems, and that is they are constantly under attack. Right, when I look at my servers and the number of attempts to hack into them, and I am nobody, I can't even imagine what the big players contend with on a day-to-day basis when it comes to hackers trying to get in the back door. Today I discovered a little program, if you will, an application called Boxcryptor. Security for your cloud. Encryption for Dropbox and company, as it was. Now, it's an interesting product. I downloaded it, and we're going to talk about it today. I'm going to show you some of it today. I went through it and checked it out first because I didn't particularly want to waste my time doing it. I've seen a lot of junk over the years when it comes to, especially when it comes to encryption. Now, this will work straight up with any of the major cloud storage device cloud storage device systems, I guess, lack of a better word. And they do have a free tier. The free tier is pretty basic, but for most people, honestly, it's all you're ever going to need. So if we go over, take a look at the free items here. Basic version, one cloud provider, 2 devices. This is the biggie right here, right? Now, if you pay for it, like €36 a year, as an example here, you get unlimited number of cloud providers, unlimited number of devices, and file name encryption. And then at $72 a year, this is more for businesses, larger businesses really, too, not smaller businesses. But you start to get into a very important area, which is high-level support, high priority of support, because as you are doing things multiply across a large company, the number of problems the IT department can run into is pretty vast. So essentially you're going to create a free account with it. Now, I have already created the account, and the first thing that you should do in all actuality before you even bother to create the account, because they let you do it, is download it. So you go to the download. Now, it's wonderful because it does identify what you are using. Now, portable is what you use when you're on Linux, and that is no installation required. That actually is not that good. Now, if you've got, for Windows as an example, you're going to have a similar issue, but this actually can complicate things for some people. Right, so anyways, I've downloaded it, so I'm not going to bother to download it again. Now, if I sign in, because I've signed up, it's just usual first name, last name, email to create an account, the free account. It will open up, and I'm in my free account here. Right. I haven't closed my browser, so it has not logged me off. And you can upgrade your plan at any time. It's not based on how much data is encrypted whatsoever. It's just based on the number of services that you were using it on. Now, I have Dropbox as well, which I'm trying to get rid of, but there's nothing on Dropbox that I would consider encrypting, because it consists mainly of products in which I sell to people. And if I encrypt those products, then I have to provide them with the ability to decrypt it. So that's just not worthwhile doing for me. Now, when you download the product, we're going to use Nemo, the graphical file explorer, to demonstrate this. Right? It goes down and it goes into your download directory, and here it, of course, is here. Right? You double click on this thing, and it will open it up for you. Now I'm going to toss this thing into my upload directory here, just simply because it's out of the way. I want to delete it easy. It'll go through, bang, and it will do what it does. Now, here is one of the areas I have an issue with this. Right? It kicks out these three files. This is the bash script file, which is basically the running the system. This is also where it would normally be installed if you were actually installing it. Now, if we go to the README file, right, I'm going to open it with just a text editor here rather than with VI. Just give it a second here. Oh, my dog is barking. This is all you get. Distribution contains the following directories. Right? How to use. Open the terminal, run bash underscore boxcryptor underscore portable dot sh in your box portable Linux folder and enjoy. Now, I'm not crazy about that, right? Because when you're dealing with people who Linux has certain ways they like. People who use Linux have certain ways they like things done. And if the script itself created that particular folder, that would be one thing, but it doesn't. Right? It doesn't do much of anything except run the application. So what we would do, and I've already done this also, right, is what we would do is these two files here would be moved over to the home directory. Right? And here we pop to the home directory. Now, as we go in the home directory, here you can see the Boxcryptor file, and then down here you can see Boxcryptor sh. Right? And this is what we would run. Now, the nice thing about this is it's very easy to run out of the graphics emulation here. And that's a good thing because the actual application itself is graphical. And I will explain my beefs with it and what I think is wonderful about it as we go. Now, it's also created a, where are we here? Dot file for configurations and stuff. Now, I've run it already, so that's why this is created. But I would prefer to know a little bit more in the README file than what I'm getting, but that's just the way it goes, right? Now, from here, we would go and double-click on that. Now, it's going to come up and ask you, how do you want to run this? It needs to run in the terminal. Don't want to display the file. That does not do you any good. And if you click this run, which I've never bothered to do, it probably just not run at all. It has to run in the terminal. So when you click it open, it will run in the terminal. Opens the terminal up. Be quiet, Thor. And runs a little bit of information, and then bang, we will come up with the graphics interface for it. Shortly, anyway. Right, my little dog is being yippy. He's being yippy because I'm not paying enough attention to him. Now, let me see if this has done it on its own yet. No, not quite. Okay, bring that up, please. It doesn't want to bring it up at the moment, so let's try this one more time. I've actually created a desktop icon for it, which would probably be worth giving a shot, see if that actually works. So we open it up. Run it in the terminal, and we should be loading up a GUI here. Which at this moment in time it does not seem to wish to do. Now, I'm wondering if that is a memory issue here. No, not really. Nothing seems to be going on there. This is massively annoying. My screen recorder. Well, isn't that something? This thing's not going to want to work for me right now. And it was working flawlessly. Okay, let's close that thing off. We'll try this one more from here. And let's open that thing. Let's try the regular run command, see what we get. Shouldn't get anything in actuality. Yeah, just what I kind of thought. Nothing's going to happen there. So open, run in the terminal. And away we go. It's funny, this has been one of these mornings where neither my son nor I seem to be able to get things done very well because of technical issues going forward. It looks like we're going to be into that again today. You'd almost think the thing was running someplace else, but it does not appear to be. Okay, well, what we're going to do is I'm going to close down a couple things here. Let's get this out of the way. Can't do that. Get that out of the way. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into terminal mode here, because sometimes you have to troubleshoot things. Let's go to HTOP. And you see right here, it's running, and here we go. We've brought it up. Okay. Got it to come to the foreground. Now, I don't think you're normally going to have any kind of problems like that, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Especially since the thing's free anyway, right? You don't have much to lose by trying it out. I've been quite happy with it thus far. Now, it's given me some warnings here. Let's see what the warnings were. Under activities, it's given me upload warnings, which I don't actually think matter. It's interesting. Not sure what exactly it is trying to accomplish with this, but because it doesn't need to do this, it doesn't do this. I'm hooked into NextDrive. NextDrive does this, so in actuality, I'm just going to clear that out of there because that's totally unimportant. This particular program has a lot of potential, but as you can see, there are some issues going forward with it, and I'm not excited about that. However, right at the moment is one of the best options I have seen to get this job done, especially if you don't want to be doing command line stuff. Right, so let's head back over here and go back to my accounts. Now, this is my Nextcloud instance, which is my own server, right? And I have encrypted three of the folders on there. And it took quite a while to encrypt them, but I did expect that. I mean, encryption is a mathematical process, and it's depending on what the settings are, it's a lot of calculations. It took probably about 90 minutes to do those two. Now, I would like to be encrypting my backup folder, but that would be an overnight operation. Most things, I don't care about them being encrypted, to be honest. Let's quit that. We're going to get out of here. Now let's see if we can make this thing do what it's supposed to do. I could be losing resources here because I'm recording. That's very possible. I mean, I'm not dealing with a high-end laptop here that I'm doing things on. But as you can see, this is what we have here. So I'm going to close this thing down one more time. And what programs do I have running here? My camera, we'll leave that there. We'll go back to this. And I don't really need this right at the moment, so we're going to close that down. We'll get ourselves back some memory. And then let's open Boxcryptor one more time. See if we get a little bit better result. And she finishes off, and we come up properly. Good, good. That makes me happy. And okay, now we're fairly normal here. I think the problems I'm having are the fact that I'm very heavy on the resources. I'm only running 4 gig of RAM on this. At some point in time, if things go well, I want to update to 8 gig. The processor speeds are fine for what I do, but definitely need more onboard RAM. Now, the issue that I have with this is to manage the files, even though it apparently does this on the fly. So if a new file ends up in my BTC folder, as it is now called BTC encrypted, it will be encrypted automatically. However, to access the files, I need to use this file explorer here that they use. So if I go, as an example, into Nextcloud here with Nemo, I get this folder is being changed. It's the BTC encrypted folder, and when I come in here, everything is encrypted. There is nothing left. You can see here, this is an image file. It's a PNG. So we go to open this, and it's going to ask me to choose a program because it doesn't know what the file type is. Okay. So let's see what we've got here that isn't heavily intrusive on what I want to do. We'll use the image viewer here. We'll state OK, and I should get an error because it is encrypted. Right? Pretty straightforward. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to encrypt this file, because when you open up the Explorer here, you are going to log into your cloud instance. In my case, it is this Nextcloud instance, and then you're going to choose the folders. So as an example of this phone number here, right-click it, and then encrypt it. And this will go on now, and it will encrypt that particular file. Now this is encrypting, interestingly enough, on the cloud. It's not doing it on my hard drive. Now the phone number is encrypted. And I don't know if you can see down at the bottom, but Nextcloud is playing around with its files right now, and it will download this file from the server, and I will end up here with I gotta get back here. I will end up here with a phone number that is encrypted once we are done. Now the phone number here is still not encrypted. I'll open this with Vim, right? And you can see I have a phone number here that is not encrypted. So we close that down and wait a little bit here, and we should be getting an encrypted version of that coming along in a few moments. Because on the server it has been encrypted. I'm going to go to activity here, and let's just see what is going on. It's marked as complete, which is a good thing. And if we go down here, we'll take a look at my next drive. And I'm sorry, if I was not so lazy at the moment, I would be pausing and editing all of this for you so we don't take up a whole lot of time, but yeah. You're going to encounter this type of stuff. You might as well see the whole process going on. Now, NextDrive is working pretty hard to try to change this all up. Now, you can see here I have encrypted this folder. We'll go into this folder here. Everything in here is encrypted. If I go into my Documents folder, I actually have a double encryption. I did this by accident, but that's the way life goes. I've got a file in here that was encrypted to begin with in Veracrypt, and now it's been encrypted again. So it happens. I'm not going to terribly worry about it as long as I don't have to do anything to use it. I don't care, but I don't store it here for access. And as we pop down this way, we'll take a look. Now my Linux backup here contains a lock on it, but that's because a lot of the stuff that is in the backup directory is root only. Right? It being that it is root only, you have to be the root user to access it, which is quite fine by me. Now, okay, well, actually we've updated, so I'm not going to bother. Now you can see here, phone number is now encrypted.text.bc. So if I open this up, it's going to ask me to choose a program. So I'm going to choose VI. Okay, I guess I can't search that way. I'm going to go down here. I'll just use text editor. Use it with the text editor. The text editor should open it. That's what I'm hoping. That's why I used this one for the demonstration. And here we go. Right? You can see that the contents that was once about a 12-digit phone number is now an absolute pile of nothing but encryption. This is the encryption here. Right? There is information about the encryption, which does not help. You can't break it, but what it is telling you is that it is using the RAS 256 key size and block size is 4096, which explains why it took so long to encrypt the stuff. It's using a very high level of encryption, right? And this is a little bit of information here with regards to public keys as well that will be all part of the process of decrypting it. Now you can see this is pretty useless to me right now. However, if I go to here and then I wish to open this, okay, I'm assuming I have this set up correctly for my my ability to open things here. I may have to download it to open it, I'm not sure. Let's see what else it says here. I have the decrypt here. It will decrypt automatically when it opens it, but I'm not sure if it will trigger a program to open or not. That's the question in Linux. In Windows, it would trigger a program to open it. This works great in Linux as far as I can tell, but there's a little bit of things that we need to work on. It's asking what export it here. Let's put this in here. So we're going to export it to downloads. Let's see what we get that way. Let's flip around here. Okay, here it is right here. Phone number, encrypted text, open with Vim, and once again I have an unencrypted version of the file. So yeah, it decrypts very, very nicely. It seems to work flawlessly as far as that type of thing goes. Let me get rid of this original thing here. I'm just going to clean up while we're talking here. Okay, so close that down. So it gets the job done, and when it comes to encryption, that's the most important thing, is we get the job done. Because if we don't get the job done, encryption becomes pointless. Encryption is not easy. You have to do things to make it happen. You're not going to have it running seamlessly in the background. And honestly, you don't really want it to run seamlessly in the background. Now this folder, my Nextcloud folder, most of this stuff, I don't care if it's encrypted or not. In fact, there's nothing up there that I do care. I encrypted those things to check it out. Right? The stuff that I care about being encrypted, I have in a Veracrypt folder, which is a local folder, and then it's backed up to this cloud, and it's backed up encrypted. Right? But there are things you may want to, like a lot of people will want to keep their images encrypted if they're keeping them up there, especially if you have sensitive photographs. Now, what I mean by sensitive photographs is pictures of your children. You don't really want a hacker to get those. Right? Now, anything that I have in my photos, I don't particularly care about. They got pictures of my dogs. They want pictures of my dogs, they're more than welcome to it. But if somebody hacks my cloud instance, which at my Nextcloud instance on my server is going to be some work. It's not an easy hack. They're not going to get anything of value, and that's really the most important thing. Now, there's going to be a link down below for you guys to click on and go and try this out if you want to try it out. You can get the Windows version and whatever. I'm not going to bother to put it on my phone because it's just not necessary. I don't use my phone for much of... nothing sensitive goes on my phone. Okay. I'm hoping that in the future this can become a background operation, because if we're going to open a terminal window and it has to remain open for the GUI to remain open, for the GUI to stay open, I would prefer it to be able to do so by hiding the window automatically. That would be a nice feature to have it done, because too many things open at one time can become unsightly when you're trying to work. It would also be nice if it would load completely in the background, and it might. I've still got some documentation to go through on it. It might be actually doing that, and anything that goes into those folders would encrypt automatically. But I'm going to check that out as we go along here later on. That would be really, really wonderful. And I would honestly prefer to see an installed version rather than the portable. But that's the way it goes. So far, this is the best option I have seen for doing this. I assume that with time and with more people using Linux who are downloading the system or buying plans if they need plans, the better this is going to get. I would give this thing a solid B+ right now. I was hoping for an A+, but I think it was too much to expect. It very well could be an A+ on a Windows application now. But everything takes time. And your other option that I've seen for encryption thus far is to use a program called rsync, which is built in natively into Linux, but it's a complex command line. It's not a complex command line for somebody who's used to command line work, but for beginners or the average person, that makes it problematic, and most people are not going to want to do that. The beauty of our clone is that you can after you run you can put the command into a script file, which is like we ran. This is a script file that we ran here to get this. And after you run the script file, you can close down the terminal and it will run in the background. Or if you choose to, you can actually run once a day, once a month, once a year, several times a day using a cron job. Right? This, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to use to do running a cron job. So I'm going to play around with it some more and see what happens. Now, this is the only video I will do on this unless something's wrong. If there's a part 2, it's because I found something that is either an issue or a feature that I had no clue existed underneath there. From there, we do a second video on this. Thanks for watching, guys. This was a little bit longer than I had planned, but that's okay too. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that like button and the notification bell if you want to know what's coming. Plus, check out the link in the description for this particular application, Boxcryptor, and check out our Patreon account as well, because there's lots of cool stuff there for you. If you want to help us reach more people and show more things, that's the route to go. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Ciao.